the strongest kind of stimulation for the brain is balance, working against gravity. And when we add movement to this, it's become even more powerful. And the balance system, in a really interesting way, supports the produce of the brainwave. And it's like a sensory motor rhythm in the brain that the thalamus take the sensory motor rhythm and transfer it for the wave that he needs, alpha, gamma, what he needs. The vestibular system, the capacity to deal with balance, it's actually serve every single cell in our brain. So if we can see that balance is not very good, that kids struggle with balance activities, this is the first things that we need to do, because this is kind of the first things that the baby do to develop.
In today's episode, I've got the honor to speak to Tehilla Israelowitz. Tehilla is a therapist, researcher, and a brain game developer. Hello, Tehilla. How did your interest in brain function and sport develop?
Okay, it's a good question. I used to work as a PE teacher, and one day the school psychologist came to me and told me, okay, this is two students that they were like 7 years old, and take them. You need to do something with them. They love to play. They love to move. Just try to do something. And one of them was with ASD, and the other one was with movement development difficulties, coordination difficulties. And in my first thought was, okay, what is related to me? I'm just a PE teacher. I'm teaching how to jump, how to run fast. I don't deal with planning and all what she wants me to do with them. And so, but she gave me a task, so I need to deal with this. And I just build a games based on organization and planning, and that's what we do. But through games, through connections, me and them, and we see that from lesson to lesson they improve themselves. So I saw this and I tell to myself, okay, there is an interesting connection between body and brain, because I didn't work out about their academic skills. I just play with them and they love it. So I start to research this through sport therapy and through neuroeducation, and here I am. That's why it all starts. And now I just develop games-based neuroscience, brain and neuroscience. I really think that's the way to improve brain function is through the body.
Ah, wow. The anterior cingulate cortex, ACC. The ACC plays a key role in decision-making and emotional regulation. What type of movement-based exercises help activate and strengthen this region?
Okay, so the ACC is here. This is ACC, and it has a lot of connection with crucial area in the brain. So we have the prefrontal cortex is it's an area that's related to making decision and attention and all the dopamine system, and he has a connection with the limbic system, and the parts that feel pain, that tell the body don't do that. It's hard. It's too hard. Or it's too painful. And he has a connection with the SMA, the motor and the sensory system, and another, and in the cerebellum, no cerebellum in the brain system. So it's crucial areas, and now we can see how much this brown little area is important to function and behavior. So fun fact about the ACC, or interesting fun fact about him, is the ACC, the neuroscience found that he's smaller with people who are dealing with obesity, but when they lose weight, it grows. So the neuroscientists have found that it tends to be smaller in people that dealing with obesity, but it actually grows when they lose weight. And they found another thing, that it's also larger. The ACC is larger in athletes and in people who see themselves as a challenge seekers, and even in people who live a long life. So the ACC is actually, they understand that the ACC is actually the area that help us to facing a challenge, facing something that's we don't want to do, when we have inner resistance, or even when we need to evaluate the challenge that we're gonna deal with. And the ACC affect the ability to be more focused, to be more flexibility, and to find a different way to deal with things, to figure out how could I do it differently. So in play, we can activate the ICC in two ways. Externally, we can ask a challenge-based question like, do you think you're gonna make it this time? So the child need to think, wait a minute, this game it's hard, I can do it. I light up the ICC and I can ask, what's going to be hard for you, or what do you need now to overcome? So all this question is about evaluating my abilities, or to measure that the challenge that I'm going to deal with. But in a different way, we can activate the ICC in games, but by internally, like letting the child figure out creative solution. I can ask, how else, and the child can ask, how else I can reach this flag if they reach the flag, this is the purpose in games. Or in the house, in the home, when the dad just block the way to the child, and the child asks, if dad block my path, how could I still get the bedroom? So this is a really nice game to play at home. That's activate the ACC of the brain, of the child brain.
Now, can you explain how different physical activities stimulate brain hemispheres and contribute to overall cognitive function?
Yeah, so as we know, we have two hemispheres, the left and the right. And inside each hemisphere, we have a neural networks at work. And when one hemisphere is weaker or less active, thinking feels slower or harder to do. So it's not about the intelligence of the kid. It's about how the brain is wired, or how active each side is. So the beautiful part that we can change change the way that the neural connection works in our brain by movement, because movement is a really great and big big and great and wonderful stimulate to the brain. So we can stimulate each hemisphere through movement like this. To activate the right hemisphere, we can use facial expression games, like to do funny faces, or if my face is happy, so you need to walk slowly. And if I do like a upset face, you just need to stop. So it's really basic. We do it like with a really toddlers or little baby, but it's wired the right hemisphere, and the right hemisphere is a part that's in charge of connection and communication and the sense of self, of ourselves, and the interoception it's related to the right hemisphere. So this is so simple and really crucial. And another way, it's deep pressure of touching each other's, or vibration. And I like the next one is immediation games. Like I do something and you need to copy me. Kids like it, and I can do it very hard for the adults. I can do like something very complicated. Like I did, for example, and you need to watch what I do and copy that. So this is the right hemisphere function. And of course, motor activities that involve the left side of the body. So when I do all what I said, I activate the right hemisphere.
And how does bilateral movement, such as coordination drills, impact right and left hemisphere communication?
So as we know, we have the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere, and we want them to wire together. And bilateral games force the brain to wire together. My right hand and my left hand need to do exactly the same. And if I had like weaker right hemisphere, you need to work harder. And this is just raises the connection between right and left hemispheres. And we have like a bridge between both of them, the right and the left. And if I do something that's coordination games, we ask on both sides to communicate. They have to talk to each other, and all our I would say well-being and behavior and functional based on this connection, because this is life. Life is timing, and if the right hemisphere just going slow, so we can see it like a difficulties with self-regulation or attention, or um, organize the body. It will be more difficult to do that. So when we do the coordination games, it's help the child to strengthen this bridge. And this is great for all what's related to self-regulation, because this bridge, it helps the inner talk to develop. Like when I dealing with something that stressed me out, I start to talk to myself. So I need the right hemisphere to tell me what I experience, because the right hemisphere is the experience, and I need the left hemisphere to take this into a word, into a story. So I need both of them. I need this bridge to be strong so I can just talk to myself. And as we can see, little kids cannot talk to themselves, and they cannot regulate themselves. They need us. And from years to years, when we develop, when the brain is developed, our ability to self to regulate ourselves is gets stronger. Another thing is, so we talk about the self-regulation, and another thing is the ability to control our movements. And as we know, we need to control our movement to be like in a um, automatically way that our awareness could be focused on higher functions like thinking or just realizing or creative things. I cannot think the way I step the steps, I get up the steps, because I won't be free to think about another thing. I cannot think about my body movements. That's what I'm trying to say. And this bridge, the corpus callosum, helped me just to control my body and be free to be in my higher functions, in my PFC. So so that's how I see this corpus callosum, this bridge, and this bilateral movement. And bilateral means that to do coordination games and to do things with both sides, to do games or activities with both sides. For example, to clap our hands, like all these games, or for example, to jump with both of our legs, jump in, jump out, jump forward, jump backward, and all what's required, we required the body to do with both sides the same activities.
Wow. And lastly, again, about the ACC, um, we spoke about some great activities like giving the child, like in a flow time activity, to decide. Any fun exercise, fun games you can add?
We should think about the times that the child need to play a movement game that involves planning, but planning something is complicated, not just planning. It's something that's not really hard to figure out how to do that, or thinking about what may be hard, or fixing your mistakes. When I need to deal with inner resistance, the the kids activate part of the brain that's called the ACC. Okay, and when we activate this area over and over again, it gets stronger. So how could you do that? We need the kids to be more focused, more persistent, and to improve the performance. So we can ask him to do some to we need to think how to play with something we don't want to do. Like, I don't want to wash my dishes, so I need to think how could I, and I need to do that, and I have an inner resistance to do that. So I need to think how to make it with how to put more playfulness in this activity. So I can just um, play a music and try to say all the words before the singer say it. And a song that I knew, of course. And for the kids, we need to think, because the kids don't want to do something they don't want to do, and they are curious creatures. They need something that's interesting them, and they need a space that they can just make mistakes. So first of all, it's okay to make mistakes, and we all make mistakes, and that's why we need to show them. And then we can think how to make some hard activities to a fun game. So we need to, I don't know, um, order the room. Okay, you need to go to sleep, and all the toys is around, and I need to um,
Organize.
organize it. Thank you. So I can tell him, okay, all the red toys, please bring them to me. Um, I count to 10, and let's see who organize more toys. So this is one way. The other way that we can do with kids is to block them away, and kids love it. We tell them to go to something, to somewhere, to the bedroom, to the couch, to the doll, to the ball, and I just block them away. And I tell them, try to figure out how to go through me, through my body, and under my legs, um, run around me. I trying to block you, and you need anyway. No matter what, you need to go to the point that we decide about it. So I think this is two games for kids that we can do.
Uh-huh. I liked the example you gave with swinging your daughter in order to entertain your son. It was
Um,
a great idea.
Right, I forgot about it. I just did it yesterday.
Ah,
Yeah, we put our daughter in a blanket, and me and my husband just swing the blanket, and she needs to reach her brother that laid out the floor with his hand up, and he needs to give him a high five. But we swing it back and forward, and always when she gets forward, she can give him a high five. So she needs to reach all the time the hand of her brother. So what I like about this game is, first of all, there is a touching, and when we touch, the oxytocin is rise up, and we like the oxytocin. Is he's the hormone that supports our brain development, and it's great. It's great for our IQ, for our well-being, for everything. So we have a touching, and when we do it with brothers and sisters, it's more.
connection.
It's a yeah, but it's a great connection, and we want it. We want this connection to be um, cooperative. I can say that. Can
Eh,
say that that they
yes,
just communicate. Yeah.
yes.
And the third thing is, if she's dealing with something that's not easy for her. It's
Mhm.
not easy to find the right timing to give a high five.
Yes. Ah,
So
wow.
I like it. Yeah.
I liked you adding the third point. Makes me real understand better the ACC. Wow, I loved it. Now, let's talk a little bit about enhancing the brain for kids with developmental delay. So, what role does sport and movement based intervention play in supporting these kids?
The strongest kind of stimulation for the brain is balance, working against gravity. And when we add movement to this, it's become even more powerful. Why? Because think about the baby. He just lay out, and he needs to resistance. We're talking about the ACC again. Resistance the gravity, and put his hand up, and then all the body need to work against this gravity, and that's why help the brain to get stimulation and just keep developed. So movement is crucial for brain development, and that's why therapy for developmental delays must include balance and body work. And that's why I like to say, I think this example the show us in a brighter way the connection between balance and cognition. The more the baby is developed and practice is balance, is crawling and rolling and climbing, we can see the more they learn to talk, to communicate and think and play. And if we will look later in life in a reverse way, the more we lose our balance, the more we lose our executive function. We start to forget things and don't find where we are. So there is a very, very great connection between them. And the balance system, in a really interesting way, supports the produce of the wave of the brain wave. And it's like a sensory motor rhythm in the brain. That's the thalamus take the sensory motor rhythm and transfer it for the wave that he needs, alpha, gamma, what he needs. So the brain system, the vestibular system, the capacity to deal with balance, it's actually serve every single cell in our brain. So if we can see that balance is not very good, and that the kids struggle with balance activities, this is the first things that we need to do, because this is kind of the first things that that baby do to develop. So it's the balance system is also related to language delay and to organize the body. I think it's related to anything. The first thing that I do, I ask from the kid, how do I know if the balance system is great or need to get support? I ask from the kids or from the adults. It's whatever at any age. You can ask you can try it for yourself either. Close your eyes and stand on one foot, on the right leg, and try to count to 10. If you can hold, you can stand for 10 seconds at one leg when your eyes are closed. It's okay. But I can see kids or even adults that can do it for 7 seconds or 2 seconds, and then I say, okay, let's start from here. So it's very simple. We can do it at home. You can just try to put on your socks while you're standing up. Don't sit and put your socks or shoes. Just stand up. Feel the gravity and resistance.
Yeah. And in terms of coordination activities, um, standing on one leg is great. Do you have any more tips for coordination exercises people can do at home?
Um, okay. Coordination is about timing. It's about to take one part of the body and another part of the body and make them from different sizes and make them wire together and work together. So riding on a bike, it's amazing. It's coordination. Hop,
Skip.
skip.
Yes,
This
skip.
is this is great. We can see immediately if this kid have a coordination problem, if he can do it or not. This is just sometimes I'm just amazed by the body language. It just tells us everything. The brain is actually our body. We just need to look in the right way and understand what our brain needs: more balance, more timing, more coordination, more rhythm. Um, Either rhythm. Rhythm is it's a great coordination because we need to stop and to do something by the rhythm. Um, okay, it's a little bit complicated to explain, but if we have the same rhythm like a metronome,
Yes.
and every single
Eight.
beat we need to do something else, it's a great for the cerebellum. It's dealing with the vestibular system. So all that rhythmical things like I can do tan 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 tan, and you need to copy me. It's great.
Parents often have questions about sports and brain development. What are some common misconceptions about exercise and cognitive function?
Oh, I wait for this question. I tell you why. Because I think that the big mistake that's happened in the centuries, we said, it's we separate the two, the physical activities and the academics learning. So parents or teacher can say, okay, he didn't learn well, he's jumpy, and he cannot remember things, he cannot read, or okay, and we separate. There's a gym class, and there is the learning activities, the academic activities. And I think it's a mistake because in nature, if we can see that we have always used thinking through movement. We need to find our food. So we're trying to move, to climb, to snail. And the brain get all these stimulate from the body, the sensory signal, and the hormone that's influence our ability to learn are raised, release. Thank you. And then we start to learn. We learn the way to our home in nature, the way to our food. Through movement, we also running with the group, building shelters, connection with others. So they are one system. The cognitive function and the sensory and motor movement are one system. They need each other's, and the separation it's a problem. So this is the first thing that we need to understand. And when as a parent or as a teacher, I understand that we need to look how the kid move and how the kid learn. When I can see together, I will look at the picture differently. So the kid needs both of them because the brain needs both of them. The brain takes the sensory system and the movement system and builds up on this the academic skills, the behavior. So I cannot just dealing with the behavior, the cognitive functions,
Yeah.
without trying to see if there is a problem with the self, the ability to sense his sensories. Okay, I need to understand if he rule his movement. There is no clumsy. This tell me a lot about his ability to behave because it
Yes.
start there.
And in the schools you work at, do they implement your approach?
Um, I think when I talk about this, people understand and can say, "Oh, okay, this is makes sense." And then they more they asking question and they trying to do it to give it more place. But it's like my purpose in life to talk about the connection between body, vestibular system, sensory, and our function.
Yes. What advice could you give parents on how to introduce some movement in the routine?
Okay, so start small and fun. Because fun, this is what we need. Kids don't do what they don't enjoy to do. And if they enjoy it, we are awake, we are light up our their limbic system and the limbic system, and it's very, 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 very important for the development of the brain. So what we can do? Simple games like crossbody. We can just walk to the door outside the building when we're going to the kindergarten or to schools, when the right hand and the left leg just touches each other's touching,
Mhm,
okay, like crossbody. We can, this is for the cross, or just jumping when the left leg and the right hand just get forward, like this.
mhm,
Okay. um and challenging balance, we can just ask them to stand on our legs when we sit on our heels, or to stand on our pillow, and then we move our legs or move the pillow, and they need not to fall. And
mhm,
this is a very great balance training. We can ask them to do like a bear stand,
mhm,
um, and then we push them, count to 10, and they need not to fall. And all this pushing and the resistance against the pushing develop the vestibular system and strength of the cerebellum. It's great. Another thing is follow the rhythm. The rhythm, we don't talk a lot about the rhythm, but it's amazing what it's doing to our brain. Rhythm activate a lot of area, the emotion area and the timing area, the cerebellum. If it's a complicated rhythm, it's activate the prefrontal cortex. It's where we think, where we control our behavior, when we regulate ourselves. So the rhythm is great, and the copy is great. Copy each other's. Put a song, play a music, and just all of you copy one kids or copy one parents, and just play with this. It's great. And do something that you don't like. A competition. Who sit in a dinner together and just start to say, what do you do today that you don't really want to do? Who is resistant the most? Thank you. uh, and balance, as I say with the socks, I really like this exercise. Put the socks on when you're standing.
yeah. And for beginners, is there any app or something that you would suggest for rhythm, or just using a metronome?
So there's an app of a metronome that's you can download. I can send it to you, the link, and you can just play with the rhythm of the metronome. It's going to be really slow or very
Fast.
um, uh,
Fast?
quickly fast. Thank you. But what we can do, I can just throw the ball with the rhythm. I catch and throw with the rhythm. It's like, it sounds like very easy. It's not. Or just remove the ball to hand from hand to hand, and the order is take the ball, wait a minute, and put it in the other hand. Just one bit you move and one bit you pause.
Okay.
It's also a great for attention and regulating things.
Oh, that's even a good game for parents to do and improve their rhythm.
Yeah.
And now, how can parents contact you?
So I have Facebook and Instagram and email.
Yeah, I'll add
and
it. I'll add and I'll tag you.
and I want to say that me and Dr. Adam talking about do a conference that talk about the area in the brain that's related to behavior as a sensory behavior, or just sensory regulation or emotional regulation. And we don't have the date yet, but if you follow me.
Thank you so much, Tehilla. This was such an exciting hour talking to you and learning about all the different games we can do. And I'm looking forward for all the people contacting you.